Hey guys, one sec. What does the Bible say about promotion and elevation? Well, this one is one of my favorites. So, promotion and elevation. You see, I have always believed that there are secrets, and yes, I'm whispering because it's very early in the morning. I have to do that. I believe that there are secrets in the Bible. Now, I know what you're saying. You're like, well, yeah, there's secrets in the Bible. That's why I'm watching your video. No. I mean, secrets beyond the words. Okay, so let's have a closer look at this one. I'm so sorry. One moment. All right, let's read this together. It says, the reward for humility and fear of the Lord is riches and honor and life. The reward for humility and fear of the Lord is riches and honor and life. Okay, so let's break this down. So the first thing it talks about is a reward. Huh? A reward? What's the reward? And then it talks about for humility. And we know that this is talking about staying humble. And then it goes on to say, and fear of the Lord. Okay? And then it goes on to say, is riches and honor and life. So for me, one thing I noticed right away when I read this is that my mind wants to only take in the reward and the riches and the life, but it's skimming over the humility part for some reason. So this is the answer to the question. The humility is the star of the show. I have something called Kingdom Wealth Codes. You might want to check it out in the description box. If it's not up when you go down there, it just means that you're a little too early. So I'm going to give you a range. Probably look into that. Right now it's June. Probably about September. They should be there. All right. So the reward for humility and fear of the Lord is riches, honor, and life. One of my favorite Bible scriptures. In life as believers, as Christians, we're going to be tested. We know that, okay? Over and over and over again. But promotion and elevation are ours. Promotion and elevation of God belongs to us. If if we practice humility when we are being tested. Now, I don't just mean being tested like, oh my God, I can't believe it, I'm being tested. No, not like that. I'm talking specifically about when dealing with other people, because we as Christians acknowledge that we are living in a world of duality. Even though 2026 is the year of promotion and it is the year of promotion from God, and yes, things are changing for the better, I believe that strongly. There is still moments where we are tested from Satan's chosen ones. Yes, this is a real thing. If God has chosen one, Satan has chosen ones. So, there will be moments that you will be aware of that will be highlighted by your Christian heart and your Christian mind as a test. There will be moments when you are having to deal with one of these chosen ones of the opposing team, and you're going to have a choice to make. You're going to have a choice to make to remain humble for the Most High, or to give into that moment based on your ego. Okay, we are not ego people. Christians are not ego people. We understand the game, we understand what's going on. We know this is a spiritual battle. So I'm urging you not to give in, because when we give in, we are signaling to the opponent's manager that we are playing the game and that we are playing on the same team, and we are not. We are not, well, we are playing the game, but we are not playing on the same team. So, if you would like promotion, elevation, riches, honor, and life, the number one thing I would advise you to do, remember it's morning, I'm sorry, that's why my voice is low. Turn up the volume if you need to. The number one thing I would advise you to do is remain humble. You know, I'm going to tell you a story that I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you because it's still fresh in my mind. I had to share a room, okay, with someone, a female, and it was very interesting, this dynamic. I think you want to hear this story. She, when I looked at her, when I first met her, I thought, oh, she's a Christian. This is immediately what popped into my mind. She was so calm and sweet and giving gentle smiles and just very approachable, right? You felt really good in her energy. And I was looking at all of her stuff, and she had all these like books and calendars and reading books, and I thought, my God, that's just like me. Like, I'm Christian, I'm a Christian woman, and I read books and I make notes and I have binders and I write out my feelings, all these beautiful things, right? So finally, because I'd seen her around, finally we end up having to share a space together. And we start talking about it. She says to me that she used to be a Christian, okay? And I'm thinking, used to? Who used to? I never met somebody in my life who told me that they used to be a Christian. So I thought, okay, no big deal. I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, you're going to come back to the faith, obviously, because you're going to be around me, and I'm very, very, very strong in the faith. Like, I do everything for God. God makes me happy. God is my everything. This is what I'm thinking. Do you know what ended up happening? This person, oh my God. I'm going to tell you the story, but I have to make sure nobody can hear me. Hold on. This person ended up forcing me to have to remain humble. When I was just talking to you about Tess. So this person, so we were sharing a room, right? So our beds were about 5 feet apart. So before I get to that, so we have a conversation. She says to me three things succinctly, okay? But we had started talking about one of them the day before. So the day before, she says to me, I'm a queen. And I'm thinking, oh, this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm thinking, oh, well, me too, but I didn't say me too. Okay, because to me, at the same time, I'm saying in the back of my mind, if you're a real queen, you would never say that. Somebody who's actually a queen doesn't go around telling people that they're a queen. They know what they are. They don't need to do that, right? So she says that, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cool. I said, now you're speaking my language, but I didn't say I am as well. I didn't. Then she says, oh, I want to decenter men. And I'm thinking, no, not thinking, this is what I said. I said to her, oh yes, I decenter men by centering God. Right? That's what somebody like me would say. So then she says this, hold on to your freaking hats and don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Then she says to me, oh, and I have this friend, and something about um, same S relationships and how she would like to try being in a same S relationship. And I'm standing there in front of a mirror, and she's sitting on the bed talking to me. And my mind says, did this woman just proposition me because we are sharing a room together and she wants to experiment? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't freaking believe. So now my mind is going back into everything. Now my mind is saying, oh, you just unchristianed yourself. You're saying you're a queen, which is something, if it were true, you wouldn't say. You're saying you want to decenter men, which is fine, but I would think that if somebody wants to decenter men, they're doing it because they want to center their life themselves. Then she says she wants to experiment being same as, basically as a couple. Well, that's a test. That is a test. And yeah, so, I told myself that I have to draw a very firm line. Now, I'm not against anybody that wants to live this way, but I said to myself, if you had walked in and you told me, "Hey, I'm part of this community. This is what I am," I'd be like, "Hey, I would respect that because that's what like I'm me as well." If you walk in as that, I have to respect it. But when you walk in and you tell me all of these things before, and you're basically telling me, yes, this is how it sounded to me, you're now going to be the part that allows me to live out this thing that I want to be and become fully and completely. This is what I was hearing from my Christian heart. I'm thinking, hell no, that's not going to happen. I just finished telling you that I'm celibate, for one, so you're not being respectful. And two, I didn't tell you that I play for that side. I don't. I don't. Yeah, so what makes you think? So, man, this woman, the point I'm getting to is this. Do you know after that she was staring at me all night and oh my god. Guys, if you want riches and honor and life from God, remain humble during these tests, okay? Just remain humble. God knows what's going on. He sees everything. Just stay humble. It is very important because in these moments of being tested, God is there. This is the point of what I'm saying. He's watching it and he also wants to see how you're going to respond. I'm sorry that this took so long. Please leave me a thumbs up, leave me